Kaboom! Hey, what's going on, folks? Ty here, Vincent Media. Hope you're having an awesome week. We have some great videos coming out later this week, so be sure to check them out. One of them, a response video to the very popular market collapse, sports card market collapse videos that Mike and I did. So we're going to be talking a little bit about some questions that came up and some things we wanted to answer. But I wanted to do something different today. A lot of times I get caught in the analytics and the marketplace conversations, and I tend to forget, and folks that don't know me, don't know that I collect a lot of cards, and I'm a big PCer of certain teams, you know, Royals, Chiefs, and any Mizzou players I try to collect. And I thought, you know what, it'd be fun today to show off my top 10 cards in my collection. And I'm going to show those to you and tell you why they're my favorite cards, not by value, but just by, you know, sentimental value, I guess. There's value, some sort of value attached to any of these cards. But before I do that, I wanted just to say thank you for your constant support, your comments, your likes, your dislikes, whatever, for all the stuff that we put out in Vincent Media. We're nearing 400 videos. And, you know, Mike and I have been through the thick and thin of just constantly pushing out content, trying to make it useful. And others have obviously helped along the journey as well. And I just wanted to thank you for watching and you for commenting on videos. It makes it really fun to interact with folks, and good or bad, right? Obviously, some of the stuff we say is polarizing, and there's good sides and bad sides to all of the arguments that we make. And I'm totally cool with that. That's the best part about living in a free country and being able to do this, is just being able to converse and have our opinions. And at the end of the day, we're just gentlemen and women, and we get to talk about sports cards, and that puts things in perspective when you go home and you see your family and you realize that it's just cardboard. But anyway, I just wanted to say thank you for all that, everything that you do to support everything that we're doing at Bench Clear. So with that said, let me dive into my top 10, actually top 11 cards. One caveat: there's a couple boxes I haven't found yet, since we're unpacking still, that have a couple cards in there, at least a couple cards in there that might unseat some different cards in my top 10. But these are my favorite top 10 right now. So let's start with, funny enough, let's start with number 11, because it's an important card to me, and it's important for a number of reasons, but the main one being that my dad grew up collecting Stan Musial. In fact, he was named after Stan Musial. And Mike's going to know this card because Mike gave me this card when I first met him in Texas. And he's like, hey, it sounds like your dad's a big Musial collector. And that's not a fair statement. My dad has a couple of Musial cards that we've gotten him, actually, but he grew up trying to collect Stan Musial. And Mike's like, here, take this. You now have a Stan Musial autograph card, 1959 tops. And it's just authenticated, right? It's not even graded. It's just a very fun and important card in my collection, because it reminds me of who my dad collects. And obviously Mike was just generous to do that. Okay. Number 10. And a couple of these are just cards from my era that I love. And this is one of them. Card from my own collection, 1992 Stadium Club, Michael Jordan. I love this photo. One of my favorite photos, if not my favorite photo of all time in sports cards. And it was when I was 11, at 10 or 11, somewhere in there. And I just remember this set, one of the many early 90s sets that I was going and opening packs for, or to go buy. And each card meant something to me. And this card was a staple card in my collection. I have multiple. Pulled this one out of my collection, and I pulled a couple out of the salvage collection that I bought that some of you have seen a video on too. So I sent all those in. Regardless of grades on these, the cards mean something to me, but I did send a lot of these in for grading. Number 9, my favorite set of all time is 1996-97 Fleer Ultra, for numerous reasons. One, there's a lot of rookies that I love. And 2, I think it's just the most beautiful looking basketball set ever created. I don't think it'll ever be unseated. I love the medallion, you know, parallels. I love the way the rookie was created. I love everything about these sets. And this card is my favorite card in the set. And it became an even more favorite card after Kobe passed away. And it means a lot to me, regardless of the grade. I love that card, and it's going to always be in my top 10. So number 9 is the Kobe Bryant rookie. Number 8 is a 1999 chrome etch, all etch refractor. And I love this card in hybrid grading. Some of you might remember this from my video. I thought it was a perfect condition card. But now that I look at the back, it's probably not a perfect condition, but 8.5 or whatever grade it is. This card was at the pinnacle of me collecting when I was 15, 16, kind of moving out of that collecting stage and kind of just going all in that last couple years and having fun with a couple friends. This card takes me back to that moment. And I loved 1999 Topps Chrome. So number 8 is the 1999 Topps Chrome Sosa. All right. Number 7 is the 91-92 Upper Deck hologram Michael Jordan. It looks great in the video there too. Another hybrid grading card. Some of these that I pulled out of my personal kid collections and sent them in. And I mixed it up between PSA, BGS, and hybrid. And this one is just awesome. I mean, how can you not like this card? I mean, look, this is not the first year holograms were created. I get it. Early 80s, a lot of holograms. Late 80s, a lot of holograms. Baseball was very popular, especially like the logos and stuff like that. But this card was just sweet. And I loved it. I love 91-92 Upper Deck. Upper Deck, and I love the collector's choice. Cheaper version that I was able to spend money on because they were $1 a pack. This card, very important to my collection. All right. Number 7, Jordan. Number 6. And he's going to at least make an appearance in my top 10. Michael Porter Jr. This is the 1819 Optic Holo rookie. I know the Prism takes the bacon in terms of popularity, but I am a sucker for Optic Holos, especially 1819. And the Holos were hard. The optics in general were hard to get graded gem mint because of the centering. As you can see, those edges, and a lot of the players in the set had some very funky centering. And so you didn't see a lot of gem mints for certain cards. In fact, the gem mint rates of 1819 Optic or Donruss are much lower than almost any other set in 1819. So I love having a gem mint of this. And of course, the holo versions, the version to own. And it's Michael Porter Jr. So he has to be in there. Number 5, Bobby Witt Jr. makes an appearance. And look, this is he's only been around a couple years, top prospect in the Royal system. He just got called up to AAA. He's going to be in the majors this year. Bobby Witt's Bobby Witt. Like, this is our guy right now for the kids and for me. Like, we love collecting Bobby Witt. 2020 Bowman is his first year card. Not his rookie card, but his first year, his Bowman first. You're going to see it in a second. I love this one because it takes you back to 1990, which I love the 90 Bowman set. And it takes me back to the Griffey that year. And he's looking at the back, right? I don't know if anyone collected during that time, right? Like, just immediately takes me back to collecting as a kid. And I loved it. And I mean, look, the atomic version is just awesome. It's numbered 18 out of 150. One number off from his jersey number, but it's a card we pulled together, the boys and I, and so it means a lot. All right, so the next couple are relatively sentimental. This one, Yordano Ventura. For those that don't know, Yordano Ventura was a top pitching prospect for the Royals for many years. I shouldn't say many. 2012 to 2014-ish, 2013 to 14-ish. He got called up during the 14, ALCS run for the Royals. And then he played a major role in the playoffs, but he passed away. And it just is a sad thing. And I remember when he passed away, going through and finding my Yordano Venturas and just slipping him in different sleeves and putting him in our Royals books and just thinking, what an awesome memory of knowing this guy was a part of some insane memories in Kansas City. And it's just so sad that he had to die so young, car crash. And yeah, tough times. And my kids weren't quite old enough to know what was happening, but it still means a lot to me and to a lot of my friends. All right. On the same note with the Royals, look, you can't love the Royals without loving Salvi and Salvador Perez. This is the first Salvador Perez auto that we pulled, 2013 Ginter, and really the first year that I went all in on Ginter. Like, it just started getting into Allen and Ginter. And I remember pulling a a framed mini auto the first time out of a box and thinking, man, I got to get a Royals version of this. And I think Gordon's in that set too, Alex Gordon. But I remember pulling this card thinking this will be in my collection for eternity. Like, it just meant a ton to get this Salvi framed mini auto. And so one of my all-time favorite cards. All right. Number 2, back to Bobby Witt Jr. And this is his Bowman first. Same set. The other one was the the 90s insert refractor. This is the Bowman first green. We also pulled a yellow. We went all in on 2020 Bowman because we are obviously huge fans of Bobby Witt Jr. But I love the green refractor version of this, and it came back with some good subgrades. And my boys and I, we remember seeing the corner of the KC jersey, and we're thinking, oh my gosh, is it a green auto? Is it Bobby Witt? And it was a non-auto. Regardless, it's just an awesome card and one of my favorites, number 2 on my list. And then number 1, this is the card I probably show people most because people ask, hey, what's your favorite card in your collection? And there's some others, again, that are probably in my top 5 that I haven't unboxed yet. But the 1819 Prism Pink Pulsar of Michael Porter Jr. is probably my favorite card in the collection now. Number 20 to 42, Jim Mint. I mean, shoot, regardless of value, right? I mean, Porter's our guy. We love Mizzou players. He obviously represents Mizzou well. His family's outstanding. He's an outstanding guy. Like, I love collecting guys that I just want to get behind and hope to see succeed. And Porter's one of them. And we have a ton of Porters, but this is probably still my favorite card, not just because of its scarcity, because of its grade. And this is cool. It's just a cool card. So that's my number 1 card. I'm going to leave you with this. I was going through cards and I thought this is probably a fair kind of reflection of what we were going through 6 months ago. And, when everyone's talking about, oh my gosh, you got to get the Sam Vincent card because it's got, Jordan in his number 12 jersey, and it was hot stuff, right? It was up like 500%. And, here we are. It's still selling, right? It's not that it's not popular, but that reminds me of Tulip Mania. And back in the 20s. And when things like this happen, when you see cards like this being talked about and being sent in for grading, when there's, 50,000 of them, and it's of a guy named Sam Vincent who averaged 7.4 points per game, probably a bad sign that you're hitting an inflationary period, a little overreaction in the hobby. But you know what? Forget all that. Showed you my top 11 cards. What do you think? What's your favorite card in there? And I'll dig out some more and I'll show you those, but appreciate everything, all the support. Have an awesome week. See ya.